Hey, all you wonderful gardeners out there. Thank you so much for joining with me here today. On our last video, I shared with you all about my garden story. So today, I kind of want to expand on that a little bit more and kind of let you know a little bit more about why I'm so passionate about gardening. So, all right, thanks again, everybody, for joining with me here today. And before we get going in telling you a little bit about my story and why I'm so passionate about gardening, why don't you let me know right down in the comment section below, why are you so passionate about gardening? Is it something new for you? Are you a new gardener? Or is this something that you've been doing for many, many years? I'd love to hear more about your garden story right down in the comments below. So as I mentioned again in our previous video, my passion for gardening really exploded after figuring out how I could grow my own food. And from there, I just kind of went crazy with everything. But a part of that gardening story that I didn't share with you was something that was kind of an unexpected return I got from my growing spaces. One of the things that was going on in my life during that time was a lot of complicated things. Family issues. I lost a loved one who was very close to me. There was, again, the weight of the world I felt at that time was really just weighing down on my shoulders, and I wasn't really, again, expecting that spending that time out there, whether it was building those elevated raised beds for our back patio garden, or just the time it was spent out there, seeding things out, propagating plants, just the whole caring of this garden. When I would get in from my day outdoors in the garden, I felt so much relieved about things. And that was the unexpected thing that I didn't know I was going to get from this gardening experience. And not only that, something that was really, really important for my life at that time, because things just seemed like they were continually unwinding and things were kind of getting worse and worse. So if you clicked onto this video because of the thumbnail, you'll see that we're talking a lot about January 10th ultimately here, because January 10th really is, if you go to our about page, you'll see that's the date the Urban Gardener got started. And I don't know why I didn't pick it out specifically. It was just a certain day, January 10th, that I got on there and thought, let's go ahead and start this sort of thing up. It wasn't until that spring that I started uploading my very first video. This channel wasn't the only significant factor about that day of January 10th. And I didn't discover that until many years later. In fact, I never really looked back on the fact that I started this channel on January 10th until later on down several years after we had already been growing on this channel for a while. So but like I said, I was dealing with a lot of stuff in my life. It just seems like each year more and more was just kind of happening and bombarding me in my life. But there was also something that had been a part of my life that I also had to kind of look at internally as well too. And this was another thing that I got from my garden experience, is because, a lot of us, spend our time out there, with ourselves. We're out there with our plants, we're out there taking care of our garden, but we get a lot of time to kind of think and to kind of analyze a lot of the things going on in our own lives. So it gives us time to really kind of process stuff when we're out in our garden spaces. And that was just kind of, something that I'd continued to do year after year, and found, a lot of relief, and was able to, really kind of figure a lot of things out, and get comfortable with a lot of the situations in my life and all of that through my gardening and growing experience. Now, it wasn't until a few years later, like I said, that I really started looking at something about myself. And this was also a few years after getting the Urban Gardener channel started and going. We'd already been growing here for a while, but there was something going on in my life that I hadn't really looked at before. And it was through doing this channel. It was through getting to meet more people in the gardening community that I started to notice and realize something about myself that I had been completely ignoring for many, many years, to my own physical and mental detriment, for sure. I had an issue like many, many people across this whole globe deal with. I drank too much. I, in the long run, had to eventually understand that I was an alcoholic, that I couldn't stop drinking on my own, and eventually was going to need to reach out to get some help in order to do so. So again, like I said, this is something I've never shared on the channel. I've never shared with anybody before, but I thought it would be kind of important to share with others out there so that you might be able to maybe understand and relate to my story. And if so, maybe it might be something that will help you out in the long run too. So, you know, for many, many years, well before I got started gardening, well into doing this gardening channel, I had an issue with constantly drinking and not being able to stop. One was never enough for me. And when it came down to it, I was really, really just kind of drowning in this kind of self, created, situation that I was not able to find a solution to. And when it came down to it, I was lucky enough through friends and people that I knew, through doing this channel, through the community that I started connecting with, was able to start this journey of self-discovery and eventually a massive change in my life. Now, I'll admit to this, as I've admitted to many people, as I've shared before with other alcoholics, that, I love doing this show. I love doing this channel. We have our live show, the Let's Get Growing show, on Saturdays and Sundays, and I love doing that. I was doing live streaming many years ago, and one of the things, like I'll say, is that I'd sit there and talk and go on about plants and gardening and everything with everybody who tuned into those live streams, while I was just sitting there just drinking and would eventually have to end the live streams because I was getting just a little too buzzed to keep on going. And eventually I would go out and do some of what you'll see, some videos that I've got in our YouTube homepage that you can go back and check out our past videos. And a lot of those early videos where I would go out and visit people, like traveling to Seattle or to Santa Rosa or Los Angeles, again too, I would be drinking throughout this whole process. And eventually I had met up with a friend who, I had a very embarrassing moment and it wasn't like I had acted out or anything like that. It was just the fact that they would see that I drank as much as I did. And because of that and a few other things, I really started to think about this needed change in my life. And eventually it led to, a series of attempts to quit drinking and to stop drinking. And like I said, eventually to the point where I had to understand that I was going to need help in order to find sobriety. And so I did. Eventually get there. I had a friend who was fortunate enough to lead me to a recovery group, and I went and joined that recovery group. And that was on January 10th. And again, January 10th, playing that huge significant role in getting this channel started. It wasn't until maybe a year or so of my into my sobriety that I had been doing something with my channel and was looking at and changing, whether it was maybe a picture or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but that's when I noticed that I actually started this channel on January 10th as well. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, how strange of a significance and coincidence that would be, that I would start this life-changing adventure on YouTube, sharing with all of you all of my garden adventures, and then years later find through gardening, this community, and this growing understanding of myself, that I would find sobriety on this very same day. And that's just kind of really stuck with me over the years now, as you know, just how much I truly believe that gardening and growing saved my life. I mean, really saved my life ultimately, because this January 10th, I celebrate 10, no, getting ahead of myself, 5 years of sobriety. 5 years I've been sober, and I never thought I could get a day, let alone a month or a year. To be sitting here now at 5 years is completely amazing. And I really do believe that, this path started, with my whole growing experience, with this sort of extra thing that we get from gardening that we don't really realize when we get started, is how much it can really fulfill our lives, give us a sense of ourselves and self-discovery as we're out there taking care of plants and all of that. It's just, gardening has a lot of advantages. It isn't just the experience in getting to grow a plant, to produce a food that we get to enjoy, but also what it does to fulfill us in our own lives. And I hope you guys really, connect with that story, or enjoy this story. If you do, definitely get down below in the comments and let me know what you think about this gardening story, as well as maybe share a story of your own as well, how gardening may have changed you in your life as well. I love to hear all of that, and I think everybody else will too. And again, thank you all so much. I mean, you all really make all of this so worth it, like I said in the last video as well too. If it wasn't for this gardening community, I don't know where I'd be today. And I am just so thankful every single day that I have this channel, The Urban Gardener, and I have all of you as well too. So again, thank you so much for taking your time to listen to my story today. And if you can, definitely click the thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and share with all of your friends. I really appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see all of you on our next video.